Thanks, Nikki. The Hawks have had better weekends, but one team this weekend came away with all wins. Iowa Volleyball won their own Iowa Invitational, and we have your weekend rundown starting with Aaron Erickson at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Thanks, Colin and Ashlyn. Well, the Hawks finished off an impressive weekend here on Saturday night against South Dakota State, finishing off South Dakota State in 3 sets. Here's what Coach Szymanski had to say after the game.
Tonight was really clean volleyball for us, and we talked about our ability to execute well, first, second, and third contact. And you can get hung up sometimes on how hard do we hit the ball, what do we do with the ball as attackers. But when you're passing and setting, serving, all those things are functioning well. That creates a lot of good offensive opportunities.
This Friday, the Hawks go on the road to face Michigan and Michigan State in their first Big Ten competition. From inside Carver Hawkeye Arena, this has been Aaron Erickson with Daily Iowan TV Sports. Let's toss it over to John at field hockey. John?
Thanks, Aaron. The Iowa women's field hockey team suffered a heartbreaker on Friday afternoon, but bounced back nicely on Sunday to claim a 4-1 victory over the Ball State Cardinals.
Ready up, ready up!
With games like this, and really any game, it's just when's the first one going to fall in, and we just want that first goal to go in, because that kind of opens the door for the rest of the goals that follow.
Playing Penn State kind of gave us, I think, a reality check, and so we know what to expect from Maryland and Rutgers this coming weekend.
The Hawks are back in action when they welcome Maryland this upcoming Friday. For more on the Iowa women's soccer team, let's send it down to Liv, who's at the Iowa Soccer Complex. Liv?
Thanks, guys. Although a low-scoring game and a tough loss, there wasn't one dull moment here at Grant Field as Iowa Hawkeyes took on Michigan State. With a slow first half, Iowa came back strong in the second with 19 total shots on goal. With no score at the end of regulation, the Hawkeyes went into overtime and lost the battle due to a penalty kick from the Spartans.
After a tough loss, especially on a PK, you just take it, and that's a game of soccer. So you can play and you can outpossess and you can play really well, but at the end of the day, the game of soccer it's a love-hate relationship. We're just ready to take back what we should have taken here, so I think that'll just add fuel to our fire.
Well, that's all we have for the weekend rundown. Back to you in the sports studio.
Thanks, guys. Other sports going on for Iowa athletics included the Iowa tennis team, who sent 2 people to the Valpo Fall Invitational. Tony Lito placed first in Flight C, and the double of Lito and Jason Kirst fell to Valparaiso, and they ended up in second place. Iowa football did not get the outcome they wanted this weekend. They lost to North Dakota State University 23-21. Losing by a last-second field goal, to say this was a disappointing loss is an understatement. Reporter Mary Kate Heroin has the story.
The North Dakota State Bison took control of the game right from the beginning on Saturday with a 21-yard touchdown off an interception. The Hawkeyes answered back early in the second quarter with a 30-yard touchdown pass from Beathard to McCarron. Although it was a back-and-forth game atmosphere, both the Hawkeyes' offense and defense did not play the way they were expected to.
It's incredibly frustrating because it's just not the football team that we are, but that's what we put on the field today.
No, execution, like I said earlier, we got to be able to, sustain some drives and move the ball more than that. I think we had 240 yards today. We didn't get our running game going. So it's us as a whole, as an offense. We need to get back into the film room and on the practice field and fix some stuff.
I mean, they like to run it down your throat, and we didn't come up today, and we didn't fill the holes like we need to.
It's not only what the Hawkeyes didn't do on Saturday, but it's what the North Dakota State Bison did do. This is their 6th straight win against an FBS team, and even the Hawkeyes didn't underestimate them.
We didn't overlook them coming in. They're a very good team. We've known this since we've seen them on our schedule, like last year. Whenever the schedule came out, we know that they were going to be a good team. We know that they come to hit, they come to play every game.
Now it's all about looking at what the Hawkeyes can improve on from this loss for the rest of their season.
We got to let this sting for a little bit. This is a little reality check for us right now, and it should sting, and it will for a couple of days. But we need to bounce back, and tomorrow we'll start thinking about next week.
The Hawkeyes are back in action this Saturday for their first away game at Rutgers. For Hawkeye football, this has been Mary Kate Harrion, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
After seeing a big improvement in the defense from week 1 to week 2, their performance on Saturday was surprising. Katie Stextro took a closer look to find out what happened to this D-line.
It was an upset in Iowa City on Saturday, and the game marked Iowa's first loss in Kinnick Stadium since 2014. But this is not the team that we saw last weekend. And as for Iowa's defense, they played extremely well in the first half. But come second half, fatigue kicked in, and North Dakota State's offense stepped up.
You know, we've really played clean football, sharp football in our first two games. That was not the case today, and those costly errors, those little detail things that we didn't do well today ended up catching us at the end and, made a big difference. And, the lesson there is if you do that against a good football team, you're typically going to pay for it, and that was what happened today.
The Iowa defense allowed the Bison 239 rushing yards and 23 total points. And their main goal for the game? Not allow more than 21. So what went wrong?
This offensive line was bigger, obviously, than our first two opponents. Very disciplined. Very disciplined group of guys. Who just gave effort every single snap.
We just needed to execute. We have our defense, and people need to be in certain spots and certain plays, and we just weren't there in certain plays. We just didn't execute there at the end when we needed to, and down the road we need to execute if we're going to win big games.
Just communication issues, and then just fit issues. So we need to look at the film this coming week, here tomorrow, and we need to move on from it.
With Big Ten play right around the corner, this Iowa defense knows that there is no room for mistakes in the coming weeks. Reporting from Kinnick Stadium, this is Katie Sextro, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Like Katie said earlier, North Dakota State rushed for 239 yards on Saturday, while the Hawkeyes ran a total of only 34. Tomorrow we'll have more on why this Iowa offense struggled so much. That's all we have for you in the sports studio. Back to you at the desk.